What is happening, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode on my YouTube channel. This week we are going to be going through kipping pull-ups. Now this video is perfect if you're someone who wants to get the first rep or start learning how to link those reps together. Now the first thing that we're going to go through on the kipping pull-up is some drills with a box. Okay, so the reason why we brought the box into play is so that we can get a feel for what the movement's actually like. Okay, so what we're gonna do is find a box and make sure that it's at a height where we can get our chin over the bar if we're on our tiptoes. Okay, so all we're gonna do is bend your knees and keep your arms nice and straight. Okay, and we're gonna imagine that we're hanging off the bar and we're going into a kip. So I've got my head and chest through. This is where I'd be in that arch position. I'm gonna kip back. As I start to come behind the rig, I'm gonna start pulling myself up so that my chin then comes over the bar. One time here, and then I'm gonna just slightly push myself away. My arms are gonna straighten out as I'm coming down, and then I'm gonna go back into that kip. So this drill is really useful just to practice what it's gonna feel like going from the bottom of a kip into the top of your rep. Okay, so the reps would look something like this. We can even get to the point where we're jumping up, just so you can use your arms that little bit more to pull your chin over the bar. That would be one way of progressing that movement. Next, we're going to take the bar away, and then we're going to get a feel for how to go through the kipping pull-up. Okay, so we should already be at a stage where we're comfortable going through that kip swing on the rig. If we're not, go back to one of my previous videos on how to build a strong foundation for kipping. So then what we're gonna do is we'll start off going through that kip swing just as a means to warming up the movement. So as we're up, feet together, and we're going through that kip, okay? The next thing we want to start adding in is that effort up towards the bar. So there's two things we want. We want a pop of the hips or a drive of the hips, and then a pull of the arms as we go towards the top. Now, if you're someone who's aiming to get the first rep, what we can work towards is going through a couple of kips, and then on, let's say, the third or fourth rep, you're going to go for your kip and pull up. Okay, so it'll be one kip, two kip. On number three, you're gonna kick your feet in front. Think about driving your hips up and then pulling yourself up to the top. Ideally, that finishing position is getting your chin over the bar. Okay, so it looks something like this. So, 1, 2, and then I'm just being nice and snappy, kicking my feet forward, driving my hips up or popping my hips up, and then pulling myself so that my chin goes over the bar. What we want to do first is master that first rep before we start trying to link them together. So what I'd recommend is just drilling that one kick, two kick, kicking up, and then driving up, okay? What we want to make sure that we've got is balance at the top of the rig. So I'm going to show you another rep in a minute. What we want to do is make sure that our upper body comes behind the rig. Okay, so I'll have my hips, my shoulders behind the rig, and then my feet will come ever so slightly in front. You don't want to be way out in front, like too far, otherwise I'll start building that momentum and swaying myself forward, and I'll struggle linking the two reps together. So I'll show you one right rep and one wrong rep. So here's the right one. 1, 2. Okay, now I'll show you one wrong one where I kick my feet too far in front and I start getting a little bit of momentum towards in front of the rig. 1, 2. Now you see how on that second rep, it would be near enough impossible for me to start linking those reps together. So what we want to do is just practice a snappy kick forward, drive up with the hips, pull myself up to the top. Make sure we've got your hips and shoulders behind the rig and we're upright. What we want to then do next is that slight push away at the top. That's going to help us then come back into the kip and then come back up into that second rep. Okay, so I'll show you from there. 1, 2. Now you see, as I'm at the top, I'm just pushing myself away ever so slightly. Once I've got the knack of that, then we want to come back through and then go into that second rep. So I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to go for 2 kips first, then I'm going to go for my first rep of kipping pull-ups. Thinking about staying balanced at the top and pushing myself away ever so slightly so I can then go into my second rep. 1, 2. Okay, that's our next stage. So if you feel 1 is comfortable and you're getting that pretty easy and you're adding that extra little bit each time, so being balanced at the top, you're pushing yourself away, then you can start linking the 2 reps. After that, you then go on to 3 reps, 4 reps, 5 reps, and so on. And you'll want to start building the volume from there. So I'm just going to show you one more time, linking a couple of reps together on things that I'm thinking about. So as I go into my rep, I'm going to go 2 kips on my third and then going to start my first kipping pull-up. When I kick my feet forward, I don't want to bring them out too far. When I'm in the top position, I want to make sure my hips and shoulders are behind the rig. My feet are going to be ever so slightly in front. When I'm in that top position, I'm going to slightly push myself away and then go into that second rep. 1, 2. And they are some of the best things that you can do to try and get your first kipping pull-up and start linking reps together. I hope you found this episode useful. If you've got any other questions or you need any help whatsoever, feel free to drop a question in the comments. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one.